What's up, everybody? I'm Tyler, that's Jer, we're Rob Cornballs, and we're joined by Micky T. You introduce yourself, Micky T.
Oh shit, yeah. Hi, I'm Micky T. I'm the Irish reviewer guy. I am the podcast man. It is me, Micky T.
What's your podcast called?
It's called The Taped Podcast. I do it with my good friend Nostalgia.
Alright, link in
awesome.
bio. Check that shit out.
Yeah. Before we get into this, I have to just start with some sentimental shit. Micky T, he's on a website called Album of the Year.
Yeah.
That's where I've actually been I've been reading this guy's reviews since before I met him actually. So I remember earlier this year reading his Quad Echo review. I'd never be friends with this guy, and now we're here.
We're not here to review Quad Echo. We're here to review albums of September. So that's why we're here. We're here with Micky T. He's on the roundup. This one, we're mostly going to let Micky T speak on it because we already have our thoughts, and that's Certified Lover Boy by Drake.
Yeah, say that you a lesbian, girl, me too. Hey, girls want girls where I'm from.
Yes. Fucking ass. Soundless
dog shit. All right, Micky T, take it away.
Okay, so Drake, bit fucking shit, innit? Here's the thing with Certified Lover Boy. It's just not exciting to hear anything from Drake anymore because, to put it bluntly, he's a corporate artist. He is just gonna put out what the label expects him to and what plays mostly to the market. And it's just nothing. Nothing has changed with Drake on Certified Lover Boy. It's about as good as you'd expect an album titled Certified Lover Boy to be.
That cover too, dude.
If we're being serious here.
Drake hasn't changed since 2015. You're right.
I like a couple of songs in the album and generally like some of the production, but you can't get through a Drake album without some cringe, if we're being real here. Way Too Sexy is one of the worst flips and interpolations of a sample I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Trash. Get into
Micky T, did you hear what it said in the Apple Music bio for this album? No. A combination of toxic masculinity and the acceptance of truth.
That's even worse than the bio for Scorpion.
Okay, so we started it with one of the worst projects this year, and now it's one of the best projects this year. Sometimes I Might Be Introvert by Lil Simz.
I see sinners in a church. Sometimes I might be introvert. There's a war inside.
Where do we even start with this? Honestly, I loved Gray Area. It was one of my favorite projects of 2019. And in this one, it's just she went all out. She showed versatility in songs like Protect Your Energy and Point and Kill. The intro track is incredible. Her pen game is immaculate, and front to back, this was just an album that I really liked. I will say I don't have it up to praise as a lot of other people, but I do think that this is just a great album. Yeah. I don't even know where she's gonna go next, but I have faith in her.
For me, this is easily for me the best rap album of the year. They have this ambitious and lavish production with the intense lyricism on here. It just works together so well. Lil Simz pushed this theme of being an introvert with power and fucking ran with it on this project. It's just fucking amazing. Easily one of the most creative projects of the year. It's just, I love it. And the skits add so fucking much to this project. Amazing shit, in my opinion. Great shit. Lil Simz really did something with this.
I absolutely agree with both of you lads. This album is something else. It is fantastic from front to back. It's so lavish. It's so versatile. I love the fact that just Lil Simz is toying with so much here, from jazz rap even to Afrobeat. Yeah, it's so cool. I just love it to death. And obviously the production is just a huge part of why this album is great, because it's so strong, it's so lavish, it's so crisp. It's one of the best produced albums of the year. I suppose the best thing about this album for me is Simz herself, because she's proven in the past she's a great rapper. She's obviously one of the best out of the UK, and she just proved herself tenfold on this project because holy shit, the lyricism is so good. Some of the best written lyrics I've heard all year. Easily. I love the way it ties into this theme of being the introvert, but I also love how she touches on stuff like socio-political issues and things like that. I think she did a fantastic job here.
Fuck with it. That was a great explanation. This next project is another rap album, and it's The Melodic Blue by Baby Keem.
Let's get this shit. Let's top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
I honestly loved Family Ties. I didn't really like Do Rag Activity, but I didn't really hate it either. And you know what? I went to this album and I got absolutely nothing from it. Like, it's convoluted as fuck, it's poor, and it's boring as shit. I think that Baby Keem has this really unique and clean cadence that he runs with on this album, but sometimes he just doesn't want to use it. Sometimes he's just boring and uninteresting, and this entire album just sounds thrown together and rushed. I really didn't like it. I thought it was mid as hell.
Yeah, crying my eyes out, Baby Keem. This is sincerely the worst shit I've ever heard. No, but like, I'm not even kidding. Like, Family Ties sticks out like a sore thumb on this album because honestly, I've never been a big fan of Baby Keem. I thought Die For My Bitch was so mid with like a couple of highlights. This new one just, it doesn't give me any other reason to just not care for what he's doing, to be honest. I think that he still has potential. Family Ties was a great song.
He went off
not just because of Kendrick. Like, he did really well. I also thought he had a great performance on Kanye's album. I think he's fun, and I can see the appeal of this album. I know a lot of people like it. I can see the appeal. This was phoned in front to back from me.
No, but like generally, the Melodic Blue, I think it's an okay album. Like, it's not that great. It's a bit of a disappointment for me because I did enjoy Die For My Bitch. I really like that album. I like a lot of tracks on it. But like, I do think that Baby Keem still has potential. He has the ambition. He has the diversity. And I really do think that he makes some great songs on this thing. And like,
okay,
I think the tracks with Kendrick are fun. I think the memes that we got from Kendrick were pretty
the memes
funny.
were worth it. They're worth
it.
They
were. Yeah, and there's definitely like a lot to appreciate about this Baby Keem project. Obviously, like the diversity, the array of styles that he tries to pull from, and just generally being an ambitious like project in the trap field. But honestly, I don't think it pads out to a complete and enjoyable album. I still think that Baby Keem has a long way to go. But, you know, for now, I think that the Melodic Blue, it has its highlights, but for what it's worth, I think that it's just okay. There's definitely work to be done.
I own this next one on vinyl because I pre-ordered it because I loved the singles. I'm not even going to try to look for it, but that's Hey What by Low. This is a group that I wasn't really too familiar with like until this year. I started getting into them. I actually checked out Double Negative earlier this year, and I don't know, the singles leading up to this album were fucking great. So I was hyped to hear this. Now that I hear it in full, like, this is definitely a group that I think after hearing like a handful of their discography, they're getting more and more ambitious as time goes by, and they've been making music for decades now.
Yeah.
So just that in itself is pretty admirable. That being said, the singles were like the best part of this. Like
More such a good song.
More
yeah.
and Days Like These, those were like so fucking good. I definitely think that this is a good to great album.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people really like this album, and a lot of people really fuck with what's going on here. And to be fair, I fuck with a lot of the ideas that are going on here. I like the industrial ambient sounds. I like the kind of droney textures. I love their sense of pop melody because there's genuinely some like catchy vocal harmonies on here.
There is. Angelic vocal harmonies too.
Exactly. And I do think that it is well produced. I do kind of like the blown out production on some of this, and I do generally think it's cool. But I suppose my problem with it is that it's just way too slow paced for my liking. And they're a slowcore band. Okay. I get it. It's in the name. Like, they're a slowcore band. But
yeah,
I don't know. These songs just get very tedious for me as I listen through it. It's just that was it. Like, I don't know. I just felt kind of underwhelmed by a fair amount of it. But I do really respect it. I think it's a pretty decent album. Like, there's definitely a lot to take away. And I totally get why people would really fuck with this.
I think it's a great album. I kind of agree with what Mickey is saying. I would love like these with industrial, has an industrial type sound. I match industrial with these big drops that would leave me speechless and shit like that. But it is kind of slow paced. I still love it a lot. But you know, I kind of agree with Mickey says. I agree with Jer a little bit more. I really love the album, but it isn't something that I come back to like so often. It isn't in my repeat, but it is one of the most it's still a memorable album from the year is what I'm trying to say. This next album is in my opinion, one of the most unique, if not the most unique album of the year, and that's By the Time I Get to Phoenix by Injury Reserve.
Ain't no saving me, ain't no saving me, oh yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know how to describe this album. I don't know how to talk about this album. It's depressing as balls, and it is really, really, really weird. By the end, when I was listening to it, it just left me speechless. But, you know, rest in peace, Groggs. This is one of my favorite albums of the year, but it's hard to talk about because I don't know how to talk about it. Yeah.
I went to Phoenix earlier this year, and yeah, this is exactly what I wanted.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah.
By the time you got
exactly
to Phoenix,
what I wanted.
And it just reminds you of Phoenix. It embraces the Phoenix sound, I guess.
Yeah.
You're a dumbass.
Yeah, similar to what Tyler said, I really can't wrap my head around this album. And that's why I like it. It's in the same vein as Bish Bosh by Scott Walker for me. Like, that's the only other album that I can really compare it to. It's just the fact that I can't wrap my head around it is why I like it so much. It's just extremely out there, and
yeah, it is.
Definitely, it's already an experimental hip hop essential.
It's an avant-garde hip hop album.
By the time I get to Phoenix, I was kind of iffy going into it. Here's the thing, because the singles, I didn't really click with them, even though I love Injury Reserve. Yeah, really. I love Injury Reserve. So obviously I was excited to hear it, but just knowing what happened with Groggs and just his passing, that's definitely going to affect the album.
You were skeptical.
And, yeah. I was kind of skeptical with the direction they were going, and it took me more than a few listens to fully wrap my head around this thing. And even then, I'm still kind of fucking confused as to what's going on here. But the thing is, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I wouldn't call it my favorite Injury Reserve album. I much prefer Floss. I much prefer the Drive It Like It's Stolen EP. I even prefer Life in the Dentist's Office more than
Life in the Dentist's Office is my third favorite for them. I fucking love that. Yo is an amazing song.
This album to me comes off it's basically just like grief encapsulated into sound. I feel like even in Richie's performances, it's just holy shit, this is so disconnected from everything. And I honestly just respect the fuck out of it for being able to craft this unique sound and being able to add an emotional weight to it. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of tracks here that are way too fucking weird for my liking, but at the same time though, there's just that just hit that emotional high for me. So yeah, in summary, this album is really something else. I had the mentality that unique doesn't always equal good, but
I agree.
It can help, but if the music doesn't connect with me, I'm not gonna fuck with it. But I did with this, and I do really enjoy it. I think it's a fine statement from Injury Reserve, and obviously with that in mind, rest in peace, Groggs.
All right, the next album we're gonna be talking about is Montero by Lil Nas X.
I was very excited to check out the new Lil Nas X album, not only because I love the dude's personality and just the effort he puts into the music videos, and just the serious amount of trolling that he does to boomers and conservatives alike. In the past, I think his it was his 7 EP, that didn't really connect with me fully, because I feel there was I guess there was more that he could have done to make it a standout album. But I feel on Montero, Lil Nas X just finally kind of reaches that potential that I hoped he would, and I think this is a really good album. There are a few tracks that I do think are a bit overly polished and kind of just a bit too clean for my liking, for sure. But for the most part, I do really enjoy Montero. There are some bangers on here. I love the personality that he displays. I do like how he gets very versatile and very personal on a lot of his lyrics here.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, I just think it's definitely makes sense being titled Montero. I believe that's his real name. It makes sense. Yeah.
I think this is an impressive debut album, and I just think it's really nice. I honestly expected more bangers like Industry Baby. It's not a bad thing that there isn't, but we got a fair share of these really nice melancholic type songs. And, I'm not mad at it at all. I think Lil Nas X drops an album with bangers, personal songs, and it's just, everything works well. I honestly did expect more, but not, much more than what we got. I still think we got a great album, and I really fucked with it. Yeah, Lil Nas X, let's go.
Yeah, no, this was certainly a great debut. I mean, there was a couple of songs that I had been anticipating for a while. One of them was Don't Want It. Me and my friend had been waiting for that for so long. We were in the parking lot and it came on and we were screaming, and a couple of old people walked by And I don't know, they were probably just like,
They were like, yep, those kids listening to the Devil's music again.
no, this was a solid debut. I mean, the problem that I do have with it, honestly, is that the singles had nothing but replay value for me. And when this album came out, it stuck with me for a couple days. There were some tracks that I kept replaying. I'm going to be honest. There's not really much songs that are in my rotation anymore. And I think it falls short on that, but it's still a solid debut. And yeah, I'm not mad at this at all. Lil Nas X did a great job. I still don't understand though, the fact that this dude got sold out by Youngboy in the first week.
He got sold out by Drake in his third week.
Next one. Quite the tearjerker. I mean, I know Micky T over there. He's a huge fan of the Queens of the Stone Age album, and I think it's pretty good. But it's no Teenage Heartbreak by Lil Huddy. I mean, the incredible stoner rock that Lil Huddy brings to this album is insane. The pop punk influences. This is just so good. And can you stop calling Travis Barker? Stop! Like, I don't even mind Blink-182 that much. I think that they're not my cup of tea. But, like, Travis Barker is the real pandemic. This dude's from TikTok, and I don't pay attention to any TikTok music. So I don't really know anything about this guy. He dated Addison Rae. This album is real, like, it's dog shit. It's so bad.
The redeemable qualities of this album are only there because every piece of music that was taking place in this album, it was made in a huge room full of old men. It's just industry planted garbage. Sometimes Huddy makes his voice work, barely, but most of the time he just sounds like a 14-year-old kid trying to make pop punk music. And it's hilarious.
Now, lads, Jer, Tyler, there were many pros of doing this video with you, and there was a few cons. Now, the cons were finding out that Lil Huddy exists. I'm an old man, so I don't use TikTok. I don't know who the fuck Lil Huddy was. So I was like, okay, well, what the fuck is this? Just sounds like your average angsty teen pop punk album. Then when you realize, it's a TikToker doing it, I was like, okay, where the fuck is this gonna go? Then I see Travis Barker. Dude, I cannot stand Travis Barker. I like Travis Barker as a drummer. I love him in Blink-182. But can these new artists just not work with him? I fucking get it.
He needs to stop.
He gets it.
His production is fucking awful.
He's quite literally building up like such a pile of dog shit for his production discography.
Truly.
Like, Jesus.
What's worse? Eminem clones nowadays being the fast rap type shit, or the pop punk wave of this new age?
Why would you even ask that, Tyler? Jesus, they're both
Lil Huddy album of the year. The next album we're talking about, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated albums of the entire year, and I do not know why people aren't talking about it, and that's A Southern Gothic by Adia Victoria. This shit is amazing. I'm still digesting it, and I heard it like 3 weeks ago. Adia's soulful voice goes a long way on this album. It's clean as shit. These instrumentals are so profound, and everything just works so well here. I replay these tracks so much, like Troubled Mind, My Oh My. Dude, it's just so fucking great. This is nothing short of great. Fucking love it. I'm very excited to see more of Adia Victoria in the future.
This is most definitely one of the best blues incorporated albums I've heard in a while. And I'm not like a huge fan of blues rock or anything like that. Like, I like a select amount, and I have some that are even amongst my favorites. But like, this was so fucking incredible. I listened with Tyler, and like, it was early in the morning. We had just actually listened to Lil Huddy. So like, this was so refreshing. And after I went to bed, I woke up and I was like, I'm going to check this out because I know I listened to it last night and I loved it so much. I thought that it was going to be like a first listen hype thing. No, this whole thing is like fucking so good. I think that literally every song on here is great.
Yeah, I agree.
Every song. I really don't see like much minuses from the album other than No, yeah, I don't have anything. Motherfucking.
It deserves more ratings, to be fair, because this is easily some of the best like country, blues, singer-songwriter like type music that I've heard all year. It's so good. The music itself is fantastic. I love the production. I love how layered, textured it is.
Yes.
It's so brooding. It's so murky. Adia Victoria's vocals and songwriting are immaculate. The vocals especially. There's a southern charm there, and I absolutely love it. And just the songs, the features themselves are fantastic. It was just such a fun album. And I come back to songs like Mean Heart Woman all the time. That song, so good. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It has the Micky T seal of approval. Listen to it.
That's all you need to know.
Yes.
Micky T seal of approval.
Yeah.
You know, Micky, you know, as Jared said, you get it. Like, you got that project. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it kind of sucks because sometimes you don't get things. You don't get things, you know? And you know what's one of the things you don't get that I heard is provisional license by Millions.
Outside is popping, don't look for the peep when you hit the door knocking.
Listen here, this album did grow off of me just a little bit, just a little tiny bit, but this is one of the most underrated albums of the year. It's funny as shit to listen to, too. If you want to listen to a comedy rap album that's also hard as shit, listen to this shit. And the thing is, it's not really a comedy rap album. It's just that his cadence is so catchy and so funny. Even when he's talking about more serious topics on this album, I love this. There's a handful of bangers on here. I don't revisit it as much as I thought I would, but it is still very great. And you know what? Before Jared talks about it, I want Micky to talk about it so we can, you know, just like sink into how wrong he is.
I'm not a huge drill guy. I don't really enjoy drill that much. Like I've tried to get into some UK drill, some American drill too, but like nothing really clicks with me. I don't really enjoy the sound all that much. And it's not really that different with Provisional License for me. I guess just the production of the whole thing is just kind of standard UK drill. It's just nothing that's really sticking out to me. There's definitely some hard beats on here, but like nothing that's like totally like clicking with me. I do respect like the cadence and like the unique kind of flow and delivery that he has, but I don't think it lends itself well to like a catchy saying in a few cases here. It works for the harder tracks, for the catchier ones, not really. I do think that there's potential here, but I'm not too keen on it personally.
All right. Yeah. All right.
I was turned on to Millions like late last year from the song Laga, and it was one of my most replayed. It was one of my most replayed songs like of that year. Like it was so catchy, so addicting, so replayable, and I was anticipating this. I was so excited for this, and now that it's out, I am fully satisfied. Okay, this is only proving my take in my hot takes post about UK rap being better than US by the end of the decade. I think that with Little Simz and now this one, we're starting to heat up now. I mean, like Tyler said, the conscious elements of this album are like they're here. It's beautifully balanced. I don't know, like the flows, the features, everything about this is just like fun, playful.
I don't write an essay about it or something.
I don't replay the entire thing. There's a handful of songs that are just replayable. Yeah, and it's great. Just give me a second. I mean, you could say that I'm a fan of this next artist, like maybe just a little bit. You could say I'm a fan. Christ. Sufjan Stevens is my favorite artist of all time. When I heard these singles,
look what Jared wears. I mean, you can kind of tell. But
okay, shut up, okay? Stevens is coming off of the album of the year last year for me, The Ascension. When I heard these singles, I was so excited because he was not only 6 for 6 with these singles, that he's back to his folk roots. I don't want to say he's back to his roots because Sufjan Stevens doesn't have roots. This guy has made an IDM album, a fucking classical album, a fucking ambient album. This dude just is all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if he just starts rapping over boom bap beats for his next album. I would actually love to see where that goes. This is just so fucking beautiful. I mean, Sufjan can make like a genre like singer-songwriter in indie folk. Like his take on it is so grand. He can make something so simple be so grand, and his collaborator here, Angelo D'Agostino, like adds a perfect touch to all these songs. It was a great concept, I fucking love this album, okay?
All right.
I'm never going to be able to bring it to right words,
Yeah.
but I love Sufjan Stevens, and I love this album.
All right,
Okay.
so yeah, I think this is just some really nice, well-rounded folk music. Lush vocals from Sufjan Stevens and Angelo helps making this album even better. I don't like it as much as the but I had a great time with the album. It's really fucking good, but Claro better. Claro chopped a better album.
I wouldn't go that far now, Tyler. I wouldn't go that far now.
Jared's rethinking his life.
Okay, yeah, A Beginner's Mind. I actually didn't know this was coming out. I'm not actively keeping up with Sufjan. I do like a fair amount of his albums. Haven't heard everything, though, but I do like him. And this is just a nice bit of indie folk. I think it's got lush instrumentals. I do like just generally the instrumentation of the whole thing, the vocals, the lyricism. I do think the concept is pretty cool. But I suppose it's just something that I wouldn't really revisit too often. I definitely will give the album like another listen like by the end of the year. But like it's definitely not going to be in heavy rotation for me. Generally speaking, I think it's a good album. Yeah.
This next album we're going to be talking about is Poppy's Flux. I'll just speed through this one. Just shut the fuck up! How about that? No, okay. There are some great songs on here. I think Poppy pulls off alternative rock pretty well, but it isn't anything that's unique or stand out. Unlike her last album, I Disagree, which I absolutely adored. I had a pretty good time with this album, but I don't really replay that many songs off of it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about this. I wasn't crazy about I Disagree. I was hoping to like this one, but this is a bunch of New Order worship for the most part, and it's just boring. It's just nothing special. There's some shoegaze direction on a couple of the songs. It's nothing that I care for. Poppy, more like Poopy.
It's funny that you bring up New Order because there's one song on here that was like, okay, yeah, this sounds exactly like a New Order song.
Right,
I want Poppy.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing.
Good. Okay.
Here's the thing. I want Poppy to do more of that. Do a new wave album, Poppy.
Okay,
I
yeah,
fucking beg. I want that so bad. You see, the thing is with this album, it definitely leans more into like kind of a grungy alternative rock sound and a bit of a shoegaze kind of thing as well. So it's basically pulling from all kind of influences of alternative rock. But I just feel like it doesn't pad out into an album that's just fully enjoyable. I think it's decent for the most part, but another like in one ear out the other kind of situation.
We're gonna talk about the album that was better.
Oh no.
Than Poppy, and one of the best hip hop albums of the month.
You're
Sincerely
fucking
Ken Trell by Youngboy.
Don't know who I want, you the one I want. Never said I don't.
First of all, aside from like the jokes of like Youngboy better, Youngboy actually is better than a lot of hip hop albums this year. I've never really understood like the extreme hate. Well, I think that Youngboy is a one-trick pony. There's no denying that he's a one-trick pony and he uses like similar flows and everything like that. But this dude's charisma. This dude raps on every single song like he's like getting threatened with a gun to his head. He goes crazy. He goes like fucking off. Almost every song on here is a banger. And I always come out of Youngboy projects with a handful of songs to replay. I mean, this is great. Way better than the Black Country New Road. I mean, they could never make Sincerely Ken Trell.
I hate you.
Youngboy,
listen, shut the fuck up.
Youngboy.
Why are you? I want to actually know what the fuck you were talking about with him being charismatic. On some of these songs, it sounds like he's about to fall asleep. I didn't make it.
Okay, what songs?
I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't fucking remember any of them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just mid as hell. I didn't enjoy it. It's fucking mid as fuck. That's all I have to say.
Baby, send me the explicit version.
I guess all I have to say about this NBA Youngboy album is that it's better than his last one. Which I fucking despised and hated. So there's that. I mean, it's got more charisma than his last album. There's still shitloads of filler and it's generic as fuck. But hey, Youngboy's doing better.
Yeah, Youngboy better. Next album we have is... sorry, it's Hitler Wears Hermes Side B by Westside Gunn.
Yo, let the kid get drinks. So much remixing, we fishes out of Oakland in the road.
It's like side A, but longer. Westside Gunn has more time on the album, which in my opinion makes the album worse. I don't like Westside Gunn at all. And yeah, this album is very boring, very samey. I think there are some good rap performances from a lot of people, including Westside Gunn, just not enough to make me care. I don't care. Youngboy better.
Just that's all I have to say. Like I can't even say anything else about this guy.
All right, Mickey, end it off.
I like it. I think it's good. No, like it's better than Side A in every way manageable. There's way better songs on here. Westside Gunn is more mic time. He does waste time a bit here, but it starts off a bit slow. It's a bit too long, but there's so many great tracks on here for me.
That's fair. That's fair. Guys, we're on a timing here because Zoom. We had to use Zoom. But anyways, yeah. That's the post. Thank you, Micky T. Make sure you check out his podcast, his channel. It ended. Holy shit. Oh my gosh.